Hey everyone, and welcome to Screams After Midnight TV edition. I'm Peter, that is Tim. We talk about, Tales from the Crypt, basically. I mean, normally with a movie, when I say, we talk about movies, and I was like, but specifically we're talking about this week. Now, we always talk about Tales from the Crypt on this, so Tales from the Crypt it is. This is going to be Season 4, Episode 1. We have hit a new season, which is exciting. This is the middle season, because there's 7 seasons total, so we're actually about halfway through the show, or will be
Oh,
halfway through this season, I guess. But yeah, monumental things happening. So this is season 4, episode 1. It is called None But the Lonely Heart. Full spoilers for the episode as always. And we'll see if Tim can hold it together, because I understand his brother's in town and he's been keeping him up drinking until the early hours of the morning. So Tim, if you opened up the video and went, oh my god, Tim looks awful, what's wrong with them? And I'm like, yeah, it's a normal week for Tim, but he's also hungover in this case.
but you know what? I love the fans too much to miss uh, even a day of recording.
I love how I'm sneaking in insults and you're just letting them. It's like you don't even have the energy to fight me on them. It's like, oh, you know what? Let them have your stupid insult. It's fine.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
fine. Stop making noises. Stop making noises. Just talk about Tales from the Crypt, please.
I feel like I'm Connor, and I just watched like 5 episodes of Arrow. like, like
That sounds about right. Oh well. So what is None But the Lonely Heart? I was going to say Tales of the Lonely Heart later, but None But the Lonely Heart, which is the name of the episode, is about a con man named Howard who marries older women and then drugs them so they die and takes all their money. And it's quite clear
oh,
that's what it is from the start of the episode.
finally, an original Tales from the Crypt. Someone marrying someone for some type of scheme.
What? Are you saying there's been an episode like this before, Tim? No. No, I don't believe it. That is slander. That is slander on the good makers of Tales from the Crypt.
I feel like if the show takes place in one universe, like I feel like marriages are like the number one cause of death.
Yeah, yeah, marriages, just relationships in general. Like, how many characters have been in having affairs or whatever? Like, it's just
Yeah.
marriages are the problem. Whether it's your husband's going to then, like, swap your head with the cable guy because you were having an affair, or if it's something like this where he's a con man. I don't know. So that's basically the episode. But I think what maybe made it a little bit more interesting is that once he starts to cover it, because he's got like a partner who's like laundering the money for him, like. Once he gets suspicious and he starts killing him and he starts killing everyone who could possibly be a loose end. Or was it okay? I was kind of getting into it a little bit. Like, these are at least fun that he's going around killing everyone.
Yeah.
But I suppose, Tim, I'll ask you the question. Did you enjoy this episode?
I did enjoy it. It's even though, again, we're joking, but it does seem like a kind of a tired premise for the show at this point. Like there isn't too much original about it, but I thought the acting was good, and there was a few death scenes that were, entertaining, if not like a little, somewhat kind of funny.
Yeah.
And I liked the special effects and stuff at the end.
Yeah, like, I think it was like a sort of tired idea of an episode that felt tired at first. It perked up a little bit because it was doing at least some interesting, wacky things with it later on. Mainly, obviously, Tom Hanks is in the episode. He's got a small role. And surprise,
He
surprise.
directed it.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
He directed it. The reason why I phrase it like that is because that is now Arnold Schwarzenegger had a cameo. Oh wait, he happened to direct this episode. Michael J. Fox had a cameo. Oh wait, he happened to direct it. It seems like that's how they get these big actors. It's like, oh, we'll let you direct an episode if you come and, be in a small
And
part.
You know what's interesting is I was thinking about it. It's not like they've really gone on to direct other things. Like it's not like, oh, these are actors that want to be directors, and then this was kind of their first step to, oh, I enjoyed this. Now maybe I'll go direct that movie or something. Like I feel like it's interesting that this seems to be the
Maybe
only
that's
thing.
why though. Maybe they didn't enjoy it. Maybe they thought,
Yeah.
"Oh, I want to direct. Oh, I'll do an episode of Tales from the Crypt," and then like get halfway through, like, "Oh, this is so stressful. I hate this. No, no, I'm never doing this again. This is awful. I hate this so much." Gave Michael J. Fox Parkinson's.
Oh, jeez.
You can't get. That's not how you get Parkinson's. Just for anyone. The stress does not cause Parkinson's. Just for the record, in case anyone.
Thank God.
In case anyone hears that joke and thinks, "Wait, what? Directing can give you Parkinson's?" Yeah, it was an okay episode. I thought that it had some moments. I like some of the
Mhm.
deaths. You know, Tom Hanks' head in the TV, kind of fun.
Yeah.
Even if, like, him turning it off with the remote afterwards wouldn't stop the electrocuting. Like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Although I thought the shredder one was a little bit more stupid because I don't understand how it actually started to hurt him.
Well, I don't know if this was like a mistake or something, but you see, his ties going into the shredder or whatever, and then kind of cuts back, and then you see blood starting to squirt out, but he's still above it, and his hands are
Yeah.
both above it. So it's like, what is in there that's like getting that blood? I don't know.
I don't know, and that's the thing though. Like, this is one of these fun deaths that sometimes they like to put in these movies as a comical kind of. Oh, this is wacky.
Hmm.
He's dragging into the shredder, but the truth is what's going to happen when his tie ends is you're just going to get stuck, and that's just
Yeah.
it. But you're not actually going to go into the little thin slot. Like you can't fit.
Yeah. No.
It's just not going to happen. Like so, as much as look at me, I'm not going to complain about that because it's Tales from the Crypt. But yeah, the way they showed this, it was like no, he's clearly still not actually making contact with the blades
Yeah.
or whatever. So. Yeah.
Unless like they got like some super cheap knockoff, like incredibly unsafe shredder that like people shouldn't use.
Probably. I don't know. Do you get like a really wide shredder for like I don't know, like something for wood would make more sense because it's wide
Yeah.
enough for a whole sort of thick stack of wood or like a 2x4 at least. So I could buy that
Yeah.
a hand can go in there and you could get your hand all sort of ripped, and then you die with
Yeah.
blood loss. You know, you'll die because you've lost so much blood.
Yeah.
Like,
There you
right, so
go.
I get that. Unless you're really skinny and your whole body can go through, in which case fair enough. But like, it's one of those stupid deaths. But that was fun. Obviously, so he's got a time limit. The main character Howard, he's got 10 days to leave the country because he's actually been investigated. Although it sounds like he's been investigated for like just like fraud and stuff, rather than killing wives.
Which they made it seem like he's had a lot of wives. I guess at least 4 by the end.
Yeah, at least 4 or
But
5 by the sounds of it.
Yeah, but yeah, it seemed like even more than that, which I feel like after your second elderly wife dies under, mysterious circumstances, I feel like that's a pretty big red flag for
Honestly,
police.
I mean, even one I think's like suspicious. Like, it's one of these
Yeah.
things where you let it go because it's the premise of the episode and you want to have fun with it.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, there's no way in hell no one would go, "Hey, I'm going to investigate this. This is dodgy." Especially since we know that he just drugs them. Like,
Yeah.
there'll possibly be a trace of that. I mean, maybe not. There are some that would be untraceable and there's stuff that can cause a heart attack. That is, but like. People would look at it, and like you say, after 4 of these bloody things, yeah, like police are going to come knocking and seeing. But he seems to be. It seems like his companies more, or his like business affiliations are like under investigation.
Yeah.
Like he's got a grand jury. Like if he was actually being arrested for murder, there'd be a lot more. Like he'd be taken into custody. You're a danger
right.
to people. Kind of idea. What she is, because he goes around killing people in the latter half of the episode. Obviously, the big thing at the end is he eventually kills her, which I have to admit, her death scene, the new wife, which by the way, she was recently in a movie we watched. She was in The Mist. I knew I recognised her.
Oh, that's where I knew her from. Yeah, she seemed very familiar, but I couldn't place it.
It's funny. It's one of those things where once you get to a certain age, you don't really age that much anymore, and she looks pretty similar in this than as she does in The Mist, which is a good. What this would have been 90? Let me 90
It'd be
92.
like, what, 15?
Yeah,
10, 15
yeah,
years?
15 years.
Oh,
And she looks pretty much the exact same. And she's coming up on 87 years old. She's getting up there, but she's pretty good. She's a good character actor. She pops up in a few things.
Yeah.
But I knew her face from something. I'm like, oh, I'm only look her up and see what she was in, and it was The Mist. So that's cool stuff. But her death's really funny because he drugs her and he makes the phone call. Oh, my wife's having a heart attack, and then she gets back up. It's not quite worked, and she's like clawing at him. And while he's like struggling with her, he's still on the phone. He's like, she's fell down the stairs as he's like dragging her towards the stairs as she's like kicking and screaming, and then throws her down. I thought that was pretty funny. That was good dark humor.
yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, I was into that. But obviously, like someone's been sending him notes. That's what makes him suspicious in the first place. Is that someone says, "I know what you've been doing," and eventually at the end, it turns out it's the gravedigger that's been sending these notes.
It seemed kind of unnecessary. Like it seemed like a weird plot point. Like I don't really understand why this has to be a thing. I don't know.
Well, the twist in general, or just that the gravedigger is a sort of the intermediate.
No, yeah, the Gravedigger, because it's like we really didn't know much about him up until then, and I guess like were the like dead wives communicating with him?
Yeah, like, well, this is the thing. I was getting really excited for a moment because he kept. They asked me to like collect you. They
Yeah.
wanting you to teach them, and I was like, what is this? Like, I was like, oh, is this going to go in a batshit direction here at the end? Is it like aliens want to talk to him or something? Like, I was getting really sort of just excited, and like, oh, what crazy thing are they going to throw in here at the end? It was actually probably the most boring like ending that
Mhm.
they could have had. Probably, I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Having all these dead wives' corpses like coming after him and the eyes falling
Mhm.
out, like it was a pretty cool visual. But just in
Yeah.
terms of like what was about to happen, it was kind of like the most. Oh, okay, the dead wives come back and like. Again, I'm pretty sure we've had this before, like where the dead character comes back to get revenge on
Oh yeah.
the culprit. Like we've seen that many a time at this point, I think.
But I would have been totally fine though if, he just got there and there was a note and then the dead wives start walking out. Like you find
Yeah,
out, oh, the dead wives were sending him these letters.
I think it was
And
just so
it,
we could have another death scene because
yeah.
he
Oh,
kills the
sure.
gravedigger. So I think that was just
Yeah.
it. But like I say, the way he was talking was getting my mind all go like,
Mhm.
oh, is this it? Like, I mean, my mind jumped to aliens, but like, what is it? Like, what are this group of people? And oh, it's just the dead wives. Okay,
Yeah.
fine, sure, makes
But
sense.
I think that what saved it is I thought the corpses looked really good. Like you
Yeah,
said, there's one that was like coming out and she's like real shaky, which I thought was just like an interesting little like quirk to the zombie. And then another one was like crawling, and yeah, her eye pops out, and that looked really cool.
yeah, and she had like worms and maggots coming out of her mouth. It was disgusting. Oh, that reminds me.
No,
Alright, just the opening of the episode when it first starts, it starts on a close up of the first wife
mhm.
putting on lipstick, and it
Oh
was
yeah.
really it was just making me feel gross because the sound effect of her lips like smacking together was like really
Mhm.
like heightened, and it was just
Yeah.
this like if there's one thing that really disturbs me, like a normal, a relatively normal thing that's not weird or
Mhm.
creepy that really weirds me out in a movie, it's really loud mouth sound effects of like someone
Mm.
chewing or smacking their lips. Oh, it really
Yeah.
bothers me. So
And I was watching this late at night, so I didn't want to be like, loud and disrupting like my roommates or anything. So I was actually watching this on my computer with headphones.
as
So
you
it
do,
was
yeah.
like, how like stuff just feels like that much closer when you're listening on headphones and stuff. It is, yeah, not the best way to start the episode.
Yeah. I was ugh, it was just icky.
Mm.
Uh, but no.
So, so now at the end, do you think are all like these zombie wives are they like eating him, or do you think they're boning him?
um,
Like,
how about a little column A, a little column B?
yeah. Okay, that sounds good.
I don't know. I think what maybe makes it suffer a little bit here is that they're really because we have seen this idea done, like both the con man or the con wife,
Hmm.
whatever side it happens to be on. We've seen that done. We've seen the dead people coming back to like get them at the end. I
Hmm.
feel like at least in other examples though, there's been like a reason why. Like, remember that episode? I think it was season 2, where he put a love spell on the wife and she would always love him no
Right.
matter what. So she kept
Hmm.
coming back even after like so there was a reason why she kept coming back to get him. So it felt
Hmm.
really well set up. Whereas here it's just cause there's like no
Yeah.
reason for anything happening. It's just happening. Which I mean, isn't, you don't necessarily need an explanation, but I feel like you've already done this idea so many times, and you've probably done it
Yeah.
better in terms of plot. So
Hmm.
it's just weird that there's no reason. It just is.
And I will bet you that we also have not seen this done for the last time either.
Well, we got almost 4 full seasons, including this one. To
Mhm.
here's the question though, Tim: will we see it again before the end of this season?
Ooh, that's for most other shows, I would say that they probably wouldn't be so bold, but this, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, we see the corpse or corpses come back to get the culprit at the end of the episode. Will we see that again before the end of this season? I hope not. Just purely, I mean, I'm not going to say it's not going to ruin an episode if the episode's really good about it,
Yeah,
but like, I'd hope not, just for the sake of different ideas. But
definitely.
there you go. There you go, that's the Season 4 premiere of Tales from the Crypt. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. Head over to patreon.com/mailedfuzztv if you want to support the channel and everything we do here. You get these Tales from the Crypt reviews a week early at the lowest tier, so, there's reasons to go over there and help us out. But otherwise, guys, that is us, so thank you very much once again for watching. Keep watching Scary TV. We'll see you next time.